Nearly 1,000 feet below the Arctic seas, some 60 miles to the north of Norway, we have found a sonar reading which could indicate a wreck. But is it the Gaul? Carol Radford, who lost her brother in the tragedy, waits anxiously. We've no idea what we might find, but we can expect that a ship which has been capsized by heavy seas will have suffered serious damage to its superstructure. And one that has then fallen nearly 1,000 feet may even have virtually disintegrated on hitting the seabed.
At the forward end of the ROV, there's a little sonar that goes round and round, rather like a radar screen in miniature. And what that will be doing is to orientate the ROV towards the wreck.
How far down is the ROV now?
It's about 230 meters down, so it's got just over 30 meters to get to the bottom. The wreck will come up as an image on the screen at some location, so then you can use the controls to home in onto the wreck.
We must be now getting fairly near the bottom?
We're very near to the bottom at the moment, yes.
We're about 160 meters from the wreck. That's a good image of the wreck. Going in on the wreck now, we are just about 6 meters away.
6 meters away?
Yes. So the wreck will soon appear in the lights now.
And we're going to approach the wreck amidships?
Yes. There's a row coming into the ship now.
That's the ship?
Yes.
And that looks like net?
Yes, it's going to be a trawl, bit of a trawl. The problem is that is a lot of old trawls, maybe from other fishing boats. So now we pull carefully back again. We are approaching very carefully so that we are sure that we're not getting stuck or something, you know.
Our first priority is to find the name on the bow.
We suppose that this is a bow. We don't know. But then we will try to go on the bow and go up.
And follow along and see if we can find the name.
Yes, or maybe an edge on top here which we can find.
So we're a little bit nearer, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, we check out now and go for another try.
She looks as if she's slightly over on the starboard side.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we should come to
5 is
the
a short one, yeah?
Yeah, we'll
5.
come down to the name, so...
The name will start soon now.
The problem is that the Gaul was originally named the Ranger Castor, and her new name, simply painted on top of the old one, might not have survived.
Hole here.
Back.
Just that. There we are. It's later.
Gaul. G-A.
You're at Gaul.
Yeah, Gaul.
We have Gaul.
Gaul.
Okay.
So we found the Gaul, which the authorities said couldn't be done.
But for final proof, we would prefer to find the original manufacturer's nameplate, the Ranger Castor.
We could follow this rail again backwards, you know, to on this corner we've been, and then we are on the bridge.
Spare anchor is here. Here, I should say.
It's here, yeah. It's right
So
here.
that we're now looking down here.
Right. There's
Pretty well ahead of us, we have the bridge.
Yes.
There's the bridge.
There's the
You
bridge.
can see the glass. Yeah.
We can see
Glass in the bridge.
the glass is still in the bridge.
Yes.
And not broken?
We cannot tell yet. There we can count the windows in the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the center window.
And the glass is still there.
And it's still in. The storm window.
Then we can
And
see
here
the
is
plate.
a building plate.
Brock Marine. Yeah, Ranger Caster, Brook Marine.
Complete confirmation.
My mother, before she died, she'd always said if ever we found out where it was, if we would let her know. I can't begin to understand why they looked for it. They've let all these families suffer and be upset, and they could have stopped it and just put everybody out of the misery. They've caused so much heartache with all the people in Hull, and it's just unnecessary.
And so we are forced to leave by the threat of worsening weather. But our main mission has been accomplished. We've found the Gaul. The authorities can no longer hide behind claims that to do so would be too expensive or too difficult. Instead, they must answer some very uncomfortable questions, like why did they claim the area is littered with wrecks when the nearest one is nearly 40 nautical miles away? And why did they apparently ignore Norwegian reports of the wreck? And how do they explain the testimony of this man, a serviceman on the aircraft carrier Hermes on the original search?
The Hermes didn't find it, but the Mohawk apparently found her and reported that she'd found her.
Officially, no trace of the Gaul was found during the search, but crewmen from the Mohawk, a fisheries protection frigate, told Peterson a different story.
He was 98% sure that she'd found the wreck of the Gaul.
This is during the search, a few days after?
A couple of days after the search.
So the authorities knew then?
They knew then, definitely.
Peterson has good cause to remember the search and to feel angry about the apparent cover-up. Because when he returned home, he discovered his father had been one of the Gaul's crew and was lost.
All the way to
The next day, we start to examine our videotape for clues which might explain why the Gaul sank without transmitting a Mayday distress call. The official public inquiry into the loss concluded that she had capsized and sunk because she was hit by a series of very heavy seas when she was at her most vulnerable, almost broadside to the sea. But then a 2-year study by the National Maritime Institute found she was so stable she could not have capsized due to weather alone, even broadside. They said it would need another factor as well, and suggested she must already have suffered flooding below, possibly through an open hatch. But that makes the lack of a mayday even more surprising, because such flooding would certainly have been noticed as it built up.
The ship had become sluggish, and not only that, you can hear water. You know, the people who would have been off watch and that, they would have known, and particularly on the bridge, you know, they would have known there was something wrong with the movement of the ship.
So you find it incredible that she could have got water on the factory deck and then not had time to put out a mayday?
Yeah, that's quite, yeah. You know, I don't accept this at all.
The NMI report did address this. Indeed, when it listed 6 likely contributing factors, it began with
damage to the bridge front by large waves, causing a loss of steerage control and radio contact.
So would we find that serious damage to the bridge of the Gaul?
There seems to be virtually no damage at all. The glass is even intact in some of these windows.
Yes.
There was no mayday. At the inquiry they suggest that there must have been some catastrophic overwhelming. You would have expected, I would have thought, much more serious damage to the bridge.
Doesn't look that destructive. There you have this storm window with the circling, you know, the spinning window. It's still there.
And then there's the mystery of which direction the Gaul was sailing in at the time of her sinking. Both the official investigations agreed that she must have been broadside to the waves. Her former skipper, while believing the Gaul was not involved in spying, agrees that she would have had to be broadside.